everyone, I'm Catherine and I'm excited to share my progress on how I learned how to crochet during the Networked Learning Project. I had the initial goal of teaching myself how to crochet and creating some sort of complex granny square pattern. If I mastered that goal very quickly, I wanted to create a scarf or a hat also. So I started by watching a YouTube video that had over 3 million views. This YouTube video was advertised as a beginning granny square project and had lots of comments saying, oh, it was super easy to follow. I started watching the video and I just could not keep up with the vlogger. I was trying to make the stitches that she was completing and I could not do that. I also couldn't pause the video fast enough to try and catch up with what she was doing. This right here is the result of my first granny square project. I realized I had to change my strategy. I first had to learn how to stitch. I also had to learn how to use the needle and work with the yarn. So I decided to search for articles on how to create a single stitch project, which is one of the stitches you need to create more advanced projects. I found an article that had step-by-step instructions on how to do a single stitch project. I also really liked this article because there were lots of pictures and even GIFs of how the woman was doing her stitches. This is the result of my first project. I also really liked how I could work at my own speed. I was not intimidated by the pace of a fast-moving video. Once I felt like I had mastered the single stitch, I moved to an article that practiced the double crochet stitch, which is another stitch you need to know how to make complex projects. This is the result of my double crochet project. One thing I found when I was reading this article is this woman used a lot of terminology related to crocheting that I was unfamiliar with. So before I could successfully make this project, I actually searched for an online crocheting dictionary that explained the different stitches and really helped me understand some of those instructions that were written. Another thing that was very helpful with the double crochet project was the woman included lots of pictures, so I could always compare what I was doing with the pictures that were included in her instructional article. At that point, I felt like I had mastered the single stitch and the double crochet stitch, so I thought, okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna try that beginning granny square project again. Instead of using that video that was way too intimidating for me to start with, I actually found an article that had the same exact pattern, only it was written with step-by-step instructions and had lots of pictures. After a couple of first botched attempts, this was my first successful granny square project. I think it looks a lot better than this one right here. This messed up piece is actually supposed to be this piece in the middle here. Once again, I really found it helpful to have the step-by-step instructions and pictures where I can compare what I was doing to what the instructor did in her project. So I decided to use the video again, the article again, not the video, and this is the result of my second project. At that point, I thought I was ready to try the video. I had done enough project practice with the article, so now I was ready to try the video. This was my first attempt at the video, and my last in the granny square I'm most proud of was my fourth attempt. Believe it or not, my first 2 attempts took me about 3 hours to complete this. After a lot more practice, my better attempts using the video, I was able to cut that down to a little bit over an hour. Eventually what you would do with these is stitch them together to make a blanket. So I hope as I move forward that I will be able to take what I've done and create a nice blanket out of it. Thank you for watching, and yes, I can kind of crochet now. Thanks.